What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing, an install, and a review / testing of the pedal commander on my 2020 Tundra Platinum. It's the PC27 Bluetooth version, so you can control this from your phone, which is pretty sweet. I want to see what all the hype is about. Everybody who has one of these, most people I should say, you know, they swear by this thing and say it's awesome, a lot of fun to drive with. So we're going to unbox it, get it installed on the truck. Super easy install. The install literally takes a couple minutes, and then we'll take it for a drive, see what the fuss is all about. All right, so let's get it unboxed and see what's in here. All right, so this is how you're going to receive the module in a box like this. I got mine right from Pedal Commander. They had it in stock and they were offering a deal on it, so I just ordered it directly through them. So when you get it, you're just going to slide this top clear cover off. That'll give you access to the module. A little instruction manual here. Goes over some things inside. The install is very simple, but it does go over a couple tips in the book, so we'll go over that with you. Then you just pop this part out here. The module's in this yellow plastic piece. Just push up from the bottom and you can pop the module right out of there. We'll set that holder aside. So this is what the module itself looks like. Very small wiring harness coming off the back of it with two different connectors. We'll show you where they go. And then the module is actually in a little holder, which you can pop off if you choose to. I'm guessing you could probably mount this with or without that holder. It's up to you. On the back of the module, there is a serial number. Make sure you write that serial number down, or just make sure you have access to it, because that's how you're going to connect it to your phone via Bluetooth for those capabilities to work. Alright, so that's the module itself, and you can see it has Eco, City, Sport, and Sport Plus mode, and then down here is +1, 2, 3, 4, or -4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so you can get a good look at the buttons there on the module itself. And then the power button's actually right there in the middle. That star is the power button. So that's the module. Everything else in the package, you get 2 Velcro pads in case you want to use them to mount the module. You get a couple zip ties, and then you also get what feels like, I'm guessing it's an alcohol swab to wipe down the surface where you're going to mount it. All right, so that's everything that comes with the kit. So let's head on over to the truck and we'll get this thing installed. All right, so here we are up underneath the steering console column, and all you're going to do on the gas pedal, there's a simple plug right here. So all you're going to do is it's just your standard plug. There's a tab on it. You're just going to push that tab and pop that off, so you can see it just disconnects that easy. So now all you're going to do is take your pedal commander, and again, it has the 2 plugs on it. You're going to just plug one end. Kind of hard for me to do holding the camera, so you're basically just going to plug the male end of the pedal commander into the female end of the plug, and then plug the female end of the pedal commander back onto the gas pedal. That's it. Now the only thing, a couple things to keep in mind here before you do any of this, you do want to make sure your truck is off for a minimum of 5 minutes. And the other thing is, and this is according to Pedal Commander, if you have a smart key like my 2020 Platinum has, make sure your keys are a minimum of 35 feet away from the truck, because they can send signals and power to the truck. If you don't do these 2 steps, Pedal Commander states that you can get a check engine light come on, again, if your truck is not off for a minimum of 5 minutes and your keys are not at least 35 feet away from the vehicle, if you have the smart start. All right, so the install is that easy. Then you just have to pick a mounting location for where you want to mount the module itself. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put mine yet. I'll show you when it's all hooked up and mounted, and then we'll take it for a spin, test it out, and see what the hype is about. All right, guys, you can see both connections are made right up in there. When you're connecting those 2 spots, just make sure you hear and feel a small click just to make sure they're secured. And then you can see where I mounted the module itself right there. I chose that location just for a couple reasons. Number one, it's out of the way, but it's also still easily accessible if I ever need to get at it for any reason.
As far as the controls and the buttons, I'm going to control all of that from my phone, so I'm not so much worried about that. But if I ever need to get at it for any other reason, you know, again, I have easy access to it right there. The other reason I chose this spot is the cable coming off of the gas pedal and from the module itself is very, you can easily hide it back up underneath there. Just gives it a good spot, nice and easy to tuck it away, so the cables are all out of the way and won't you know, get in the way with the gas pedal or anything like that. So all right, so that's where we decided to mount it. I will go over all of the features and the buttons, but let's jump on the truck and take this thing for a ride. All right, guys, here we are 3 days later. I wanted to give myself a couple days using the module just in case there was anything I came across or noticed, so I can pass it on to you guys. But this thing is pretty straightforward. After 3 days of using it, all I'm going to tell you and all I can say is if you're on the fence about getting one of these things, pull the trigger and get it. It is a blast. So let me show you real quick. I'll show you the app real fast, and then we'll go for a little spin and we'll talk about the different modes and what I have found over the last 3 days of using this thing. So once you connect it to the truck, like I showed you, just turn the truck on. It'll take a couple seconds to power up and you know, kind of get going. And then if you have the Bluetooth version, you can download the app. If you don't have the Bluetooth version, let me start there. On the module itself, it's very simple and self-explanatory. There's a power button, and then there's plus minus buttons. It's super easy. It obviously goes over it in the instruction manual, but it's very self-explanatory. I'm not even going to waste your time showing you because it's that simple. If you have the Bluetooth version, all you're going to do is download that app right there, the Pedal Commander app. It's the yellow square with the white star in the middle. When you click on that, you're going to get a legal disclaimer. You get this no matter whether it's your first time, 10th time, 100th time connecting, whatever. You're always going to get that, so you just click I agree. Mine's going to connect automatically, as you're going to see, because I've already done this. But if for the first time, what's going to happen is you're going to go into the app, and on the bottom, it's going to say add device or add module. You're just going to click on that, and then that's when you're going to need your serial number. So you just plug your serial number in, press OK. Mine took 5, maybe 10 seconds to connect, and everything was up and running, and it takes you to this screen right here. This is your home screen, and very easy and self-explanatory as well. As you can see, you have 4 different modes. You have the Eco mode, City mode, Sport mode, in Sport Plus mode, and then you have your power button right there in the middle. You can turn this on and off. If you ever wanted your truck just to go back to stock feeling, you can just turn the Pedal Commander off and it goes right back to stock. But this is how, the one thing I want to mention really quick before I go any further so I don't forget, Pedal Commander does state that your vehicle should be stopped before you adjust anything on here. You can connect while you're driving, but to change any mode or the plus minus down bottom, which I'll show you, the vehicle should be at a complete stop. You don't have to be in park, but it should be stopped. All right, so looking at the app, you can see, again, all the modes. Right now, we're in City +4. Down bottom, you can see there's 4 green bars lit up right there. That's my favorite mode so far, and I've tested out them all, so I can kind of pass my findings on to you guys. The City +4, to me, feels like before I had the Pedal Commander, if I just turned my tow haul button on, if you guys haven't done that, give it a shot because it makes your truck feel a little more powerful. That's what City +4 to me feels like. That's probably my favorite mode. It's nothing overpowering, but it does feel a lot more responsive than just stock. All right, so if you wanted to change anything on the app, very self-explanatory. Again, right now we're in City +4. Let's say we wanted to go to City +2. Down here, there's a plus and minus button. All you're gonna do is press the minus. It'll go to +3, and then City +2. All right, so again, now down bottom, you can see how there's only 2 green bars lit up, telling us that we're in City, which is lit up in yellow, and then +2, which is in green. All right, so it's that easy to change what you want to go in and out of. Again, just make sure the vehicle is stopped. And as you can see, I will say the app is very responsive. It takes a split second. If you change something, it's almost instantaneous. It happens really quick, which is awesome. You don't have to go waiting for it to change. So, all right, so if let's say we want to go into Sport. Let's say we want to do Sport +3. You're just going to click on Sport. As you can see, now Sport is lit up in yellow. And then we'll just hit the plus button 1, 2, and 3 times. And you can see down bottom, we're in Sport, which is lit up in yellow, and then +3 down bottom in green. All right, so that's how easy it is to change. I'm gonna go back to City +4. Again, that's one of my favorites. And then we'll take a little spin here, and I'll talk to you guys about what I have come across and what I found over the last 3 days of using this thing. Now, once you're in the mode that you want to be in, you can close out the app. You don't have to keep it open. I will, just because we're going to be talking about it. But you can close out the app. You don't need to leave it open. All right. And one other thing, again, before I forget, that I'll mention, once you stop the truck, next time you get in the truck and you know, next trip or whatever, it always stays where you had it. So you don't have to go in and do this every time you start the truck. It remembers the last setting you had it on. City +4 is my favorite, so every time I get in the truck, it's at City +4 unless I change it. All right, so that's pretty important for you to know too. It's a pretty common question I see. All right, so let's take a little spin, and I'll talk to you guys about what I have found over the last 3 days, you know, using the app and the module. So let's start right at the beginning with the eco mode. That is the mode that it'll save you. It will save you some miles per gallon, and I know for a fact it will because I've tested it. What I did was I basically took, if you guys aren't aware, which I'm sure you are, but if you're not aware, your truck has a setting in it where you can look and see what your average miles per gallon were for a specific trip. So what I did was I started at my house. I took the exact same trip, about a 20-minute ride from my house, the exact same trip with the eco mode on, and then just the pedal commander off completely. So basically back to stock. And I did average about 2 or 3 miles per gallon better in the eco mode. So if you're looking to save a little miles per gallon, a little money on gas, which, let's be honest, in the Tundra, I think everybody is, that will definitely do it for you. I will say I don't personally like it though. It's not, I just don't like the feel of it. When you go into eco mode, the pedal is not responsive at all. You kind of have to push the pedal a lot. It's just, I don't like the feel of it. You guys can test it out. If you like it, awesome. It will save you a few bucks here and there on gas. I just personally don't like the feel of it. All right, so then let's go to city mode, which is what we're in now. Again, we're in City +4. That's the other thing I like about this module too. In the app, you can fine tune this thing. So it's not just the 4 modes, Eco, City, Sport, and Sport Plus. Once you're in the mode you want to go into, you can fine tune it with the plus 1, 2, 3, or 4, or minus 1, 2, 3, and 4. So a lot of different settings on this thing that you can definitely fine tune and find exactly what you're looking for. All right, so back to the city mode. This is, again, my personal favorite, the City +4. If you go just standard city, so not plus or minus anything, just in the city, it feels similar to stock, just a little bit more responsive. It's nothing mind-blowing. It is a little bit more responsive. You'll feel the difference. It's enough to notice, but it's nothing crazy. Once you start getting into City +2, 3, and 4, that's when you really start to feel the difference. As I mentioned, the City +4 to me feels like having the tow haul button on a stock truck. It's definitely more responsive. It feels like it has more power, even though it does not. That's one of the biggest misconceptions is some people think this adds power to the truck. It does not add power. It just feels that way because of how responsive the throttle is. All right, so that's something important to know as well if you're not aware of that, because some people think this actually adds power. It does not. So that's the city mode. Again, my personal favorite, the City +4 anyway. My next favorite is the regular sport mode +2 or 3. Now, when you go into the regular sport mode, that to me is when you really start noticing a difference. I would even say it's more than just having your tow haul button on. It's pretty responsive, and when you start getting into the regular sport mode +3 and +4, I mean, you can easily spin your tires if you wanted to. I mean, it's very responsive. It's a lot of fun to drive, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not in City +4, my next favorite is regular sport +2 or +3. A lot of fun to drive. All right, so that's the regular sport. The Sport Plus mode, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, that is crazy responsive. Even just with regular sport, I'm sorry, the regular, like the Sport Plus with no +1, 2, 3, or 4 down bottom, so just the Sport Plus 0, I mean, you can spin your tires easily. I was actually kind of caught off guard when I first put it in that mode and hit the gas. It'll pop your head back against your seat if you're not ready for it. So super responsive, a lot of fun to drive.
I don't know if I would use the Sport Plus every day, because again, you got to kind of be careful with the gas pedal. It's very touchy, and you'll spin your tires easily if you're not really paying attention and you step on it a little too much. When you start getting into like the Sport Plus, and then down here adding numbers like the Sport Plus, +3, +4, I mean, you could spin your tires by, you know, barely touching your gas pedal. It's that responsive. So a lot of fun. It just, I don't know if I would use that mode on a daily basis. All right, so that's just my findings over the last 3 days of using this thing. A lot of fun. As I mentioned, if you guys are on the fence, don't hesitate. Pick one of these things up. In my opinion, it's well worth the money. This 2020 Platinum, it feels like a different truck messing around with these settings, and it's just a lot more fun to drive. So hopefully that made it easy on you guys. The install is super easy. I just kind of wanted to go over the app really quick, and again, as I mentioned, let you guys know what I found over the last 3 days of using it. It's subjective, of course. If you take 10 guys with this app and module, you may get a little different opinion from all 10 guys. But, you know, for the most part, I think a lot of us would agree with what I'm telling you. You know, the Sport and Sport Plus, they are a lot of fun to use. So hopefully it helps you guys out. As always, feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave any comments, questions, concerns down below. We'll get them addressed for you, and we will see you on the next video. Take care, guys. See ya.